I mentioned that I had a whole list of things about things I wish I would have known, breaking into Hollywood and getting into Hollywood. So I want to share a few more. One is, I really, when I first got here, was still romanticizing folks, really not even just romanticize, putting them on a pedestal. Um, and I quickly learned that that is not a healthy thing to do. One, it's not fair to them, right? It's not fair to put people on a pedestal. But two, you will be disappointed, right? A lot of people, a lot of our faves are problematic. A lot of our faves are not who we'd hope them to be. And a lot of our faves are just plain human, right? So I've learned to not romanticize folks. I try to even stop saying I love folks. I like to say I love their work. And really just try to be much more realistic about my how I view people and admire people. And I think just what it just should come down to is just respect for everyone, period. That's it. And admiring the work that people and all the collaborators that they work with put together, and keeping it at that. Another thing I wish that I knew coming into this is not everyone is about the work, you know? Um, I think I had a little bit of naivete around that. That everyone was going to be as committed to the work as I am, and that's just not the case. And it can be kind of frustrating, right? When you're like, I don't want to deal with all these politics. I don't want to do all this kissing. Let's just get to the work. And uh, when arts is attached to an industry, it's never going to be just about the work, right? Because capitalism is in there, and power dynamics, and all that is a part of that. So what I have found that has helped me tremendously, of course, is to make stuff um, outside of the business so that I can more control what that looks and feels like. Also, again, just being realistic, like, okay, not everybody's about the work, but also making sure that that doesn't change my relationship to the work. Just because everybody's not about the work does not mean I have to adjust my relationship to the work, right? I'm going to still be committed to the work. And yeah, just that realistic aspect of, damn, this is how it is, but I am going to continue being committed to the work. The other thing that I wish I knew is that there isn't like a clear path for any real for most positions in Hollywood. And I know that that sounds like, there's no clear path, which is a great thing, meaning that we can blaze our own trail. But it also makes it challenging for you to maneuver. In corporate America, you're like, okay, I start here, then I go here, 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 here. It's much more easier to understand. But in Hollywood, there isn't that clear trajectory necessarily. Now, it might be in the writer's room, but even getting into the writer's room can be really challenging to understand what that path is, because there's not a distinct one. There's a few different ways, but even that is complicated. So it was very challenging for me to understand the different pathways. So what I did was, one, talk to a lot of people and their experiences. How did you get in? What did you do? What's your background? Like, who do you know? Like, really just trying to understand that piece. Also, I always encourage people, I threw all the darts at the dartboard, right? I was like, I am going to do the fellowships. I am going to make something. I am going to be networking. I am going to, um, be continuing to beef up my portfolio. I'm going to apply to programs. I'm going to volunteer. Like, I was throwing out all the darts at the dartboard because I didn't know which avenue was going to help me get into a writer's room. Um, but yeah, the not having the set path can be really confusing and frustrating. But that's why we do things like this at the Create Daily, where we try to be as transparent as possible. We try to share people's experiences so that it doesn't feel like this black hole that you're of unknowing, in terms of how to maneuver in different ways and into different positions. So those are additional things that I wish I would have known when breaking into Hollywood.